Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11. Okay, well, earlier today, actually, I had a really great streaming session on Twitch. We were doing Kaiser Reich. Many of you may not be interested in watching Kaiser Reich because you're more history-based, and that's cool. But I really do love the great bunch of people you guys are. Those that were chatting with you covered many interesting topics, some very much off of what the game was, some very much on, but just really cool, and I wanted to thank you guys. And when I look at the comments below on these videos, and obviously I answer them back, but many of you may not see, because all of them, they're just such a great bunch of people here that are, you know, history nerds, I guess we could call ourselves, and it's just really cool to interact with all of you. So let's continue here. Set up some trades to get more money coming in. Now, one thing I've decided to do, I'm talking about different things, the mixed support units. I'm making a bunch of mixed support, a couple of armored support regiments. And I'm going to use those to attach to headquarters like this, because we got for combat type headquarters. So they're not taking up a division slot, as you well know, but they'll be set up like this, and I think that would be good because it'll help. Because all of my mixed support types all so far have engineers including in them, so that'll help for river and other types of fighting, so it'll be good having those. Okay, twin engine airframes. So I think that'll be good use for some of them. Twin engine airframe research. Good. Yeah, as we were talking earlier, I think we will do some of these. So we'll unlock some other things to research. Upgrade the first Geberg brigade down here. Gebergs. Oh, that's the school. Oh, they're in the city, are they? Yeah, somewhere here. Remember, sort of the reason I clicked over these. That these guys with the different color names, you don't want to change, upgrade, or those kind of things, is they will get their own sort of change their time, and it'd just be wasted effort. Not that you can't do that, but just sort of wasted effort. Now I'm guessing production queue. We'll move that to the top. That big. Money for crude oil. No, we'll just steal yours when the time comes. Because you'll keep it all there in the Netherlands. Okay, medium artillery upgrade advanced. I don't know if that will have grayed out. Yes, okay, so we've grayed out everything. We've not yet gotten, or if there's anything to choose, because there's only 4 mixed support. Airborne. That'd be another place that I think I would want to add those to divisions and things. Yeah, military police. Do that. And Gross Deutsch Reichswald. Okay, now this, I should code it a little better. This is an example of a ballot that was done for the elections post were delayed. The elections of 19 were delayed over the plebiscite for Austria. Now we're delayed because we haven't gotten this done. We got a lot of that. And yes, almost double, not quite, but we're plowing it down. I was hoping for more events here, and this may give us some. So this should really be afterwards. But this is the ballot. You check yeah or 9. And, you know, that's definitely not a free and open fair ballot kind of situation. And reading recently Hitler's Compromises, they dealt with one of the bishops, archbishops, I don't remember, down in this part of Germany, and he refused to vote for having Austria come in, and there was a lot of pressure. I mean, I don't remember the details, but I mean the idea that they may want to, and they were no longer secret, so so people knew who you voted for. And since I'm not sure, they want to arrest him maybe or something. And so some other bishops and other people came and talked to him, goes, oh, I'm not, and he said, I'm not against the idea of voting to support Austria joining the Reich. I just couldn't vote for the Nazis, Adolf Hitler, because that's on the ballot. So, this is how Hitler showed his popular support both within Germany and to the rest of the world, and that, do you want Austria as part of Germany? Sure. You want Nazis? Not necessarily, but what are you going to do when it's no longer? Actually gain more in dissent. Oh, bloody. And I coded that, so I'm bitching about my own mod. I'm going to move one place to this group here. With that part of it, I think I'm going to leave the rest there. I know somebody got our blueprints. Volk und Reis, one of the magazines of the Third Reich. I decided, as a general policy, not to show negative portrayals of helpless people in any of my mods. So if yeah, and there were negative portrayals of Jews and others in various publications, and some very disturbing ones. But in other propaganda too, I wasn't going to do it. So if you have, just talking about general policies, what I'm doing, if you have caricatures, and some of them may be racist, in America, publications during the war of, say, Japanese soldiers, I'll use them because they're negative caricatures of soldiers, or if they're politicians of any country, whether it's a negative characterization of Hitler or of FDR, I'll use it because politicians are powerful people. But if we were just talking common people, whether they be negative characteristics, propaganda of what would be a regular Japanese person, I won't use it, or of a Jew, or of anybody else. So I decided not to do that. But I still wanted to talk about what was going on in Germany in a way. And this is one of the magazines I found, Volk und Reis. And I really haven't seen too much inside of it, though. I've seen a few more covers, and you can read about it in a bit more detail. This is mainly a magazine, from my understanding, I think I put it there, that talks about Imperial, it says Imperial only occasionally contained open anti-Semitism. Most of the material used in Volk und Reis portrayed Germanic Aryan races in the most pleasant light. So it's mainly a positive type magazine. Now, what makes it very different than modern similar sorts of magazines we see on the stands, of course, is that it's promoting one race and not just healthy, beautiful people from all of all races or something like we see. That's sort of the big difference. But I wanted to show you, and sometimes it's like rad type guys in uniform, young people, but not always. But it's very sort of athletically sort of inclined. I'm just trying to show you guys what was going on then. Okay, let's Okay, standard infantry branch. So that affects so many units, so it can't be displayed. I figured that out after a while. Why some of them don't get displayed. Yeah. I think I started this in one of the episodes, but when I replayed it, I didn't. So we're putting together our Panzer Corps. They may be joining. Oh, the other two are going to go down here again. Okay, there were 3 divisions down here. Did anyone not get here yet, or just? Got Guderian and Von Welch's. Oh, here it is. Oh, we want a old guard. We'll use them somewhere else. Let's use Hoffner for a while. There we go. There we go. Okay. Robert Tobler. Don't know if he has any association with the chocolate, but maybe he does. Who knows? Was one of the 2 primary National Front leaders. He ran the party paper Die Front, which I think we've seen that event earlier. This is him after head injury in one of the battles. Took over the front as leader 1939, predecessor of the movement. So there's more about that. There we go. And again, it's the National Front are the Nazis, the Front National are the fascists. Oh, I never did look up what the Italian fascists were. Okay, 155. Do we have a 254? So I guess that starts the 254. No. And we'll be getting more air leaders. 39, a bunch more. Now. Corps B and LG. We have an LG. Yeah. More in production there. No, okay, well. The second LG. I'm missing something here. Don't have anybody flying, so there should be. Okay, well, fine, we'll take it. Okay, you can command that. You've been asking for command and asking for command. Now you can have that one, and you're suited for it because you're a good skill leader and a tactical fighter type guy. Okay, 254. I think it is right down there. Okay, this is part of Tanganyika. Deutsches Kolonial Zeitung is edited by, that's the German colonial magazine, is edited by Paul Ritter and is published by the Reich Colonial Bund. It informs the German people about our once and future colonies. And that's basically what it was. I don't think it's necessarily exclusively to the German colonies, and they do sort of, that's obviously some, I think that may be Hitler in the car, some sort of photo of that, you know, other sort of news going on, but definitely about the various colony stuff. And yes, I put in once and future. But so relations with South Africa changed by +1. Undersea boat flotilla, or undersea boat. Yeah, flotilla. This. Okay. Yep. Here we go. There we are. Now we're going to put in a Marine commander. There we go. And attach them to U-boats. So we're getting some of those out. Now, this means more and more of these units are getting in. We're going to get a bunch done here. Those are big cannons that we're getting there. Get into some, have a few more fighters well in production. And some heavy ships too. Okay. Yep, down the bottom here. So. And big guns. Let's put these guys here. Not sure what I want to do with these. Are the these are the 100 or 280 centimeter big cannons. Okay, light infantry branch upgraded. We've got that. That's good. We not have. Are we okay? We're a little bit in the deficit. Fine. Okay, 2 more infantry divisions. These will be all right up here. No, not on the Luftwaffe guy. I know you're going to hear me do sigh like that a lot through this whole series, but that's a good leader, but almost too good for that, so I just want sort of a good conventional German general. Okay, well, yes, we're now below 2. So hopefully we'll have the Auschwitz possibility coming soon. Okay, Deutschland, the Volksbund der Deutschen in Ungarn, the German Folk Race Bund, the German Race League in Hungary, I think would be the best. Whether Volk is close to folk, but I think the way the Germans use it, they mean race as much. So we can support them or not. It helps improves relations with Hungary. From my limit, and you can see there's a lot of people. These are the sort of flags close up, but there's a lot of people in that crowd. And there's women giving the salute on this side, so I think they're marching in between this. Now, of course, you can get a huge crowd together and still be a tiny, minor percent of the population. to the best of my understanding, and from looking at some maps that I have, that, and I say all maps are propaganda, totally get that, but this is something from, I think, just before World War I, talking about ethnic placements around central part of Europe, made by the Germans. But this is before World War I, so it's not particularly Nazi, but there were other, you know, you go Guido von List and a lot of other very vehement racist groups, some of them anti-Semitic, some of them just various racist types. So they might want to overemphasize certain things, but there were, of course, a lot of Germans living within the Austro-Hungarian Empire and within the Hungarian part, but there weren't, to the best of my understanding, large sort of provincial size areas here, more pockets, and percentage of populations in a place like Budapest. So this is not as big a threat, as I understand it, to the Hungarian nation as were, you know, Sudeten Germans, Austrians, Swiss kind of things. It's not like that. And Hitler really didn't want to become the Austro-Hungarian Empire. He despised the Austro-Hungarian Empire because of its multiculturalism. He despised it because of that. So yes, we will support them, cost us a little bit of money, improve relations with Hungary. Yeah, we gotta get that. Okay, lots of divisions. I want to look here. Okay, NSDAP at least 50, but there we are, and it's at least March 1. Past March 1. Well, maybe, I don't know. Oh, we should be looking at the intelligence screen. My NSDAP is almost non-existent there, so that ain't happening. Because of that, there should be coming up soon, though. Okay, well, let's drop the mountain division down here. Yeah, he would be a fairly good commander for it, but okay, we'll put Tito in charge of it for now. These are all good basic infantry divisions for now, at least. Those we're going to send to East Prussia. Well, dump them here. 3 generals. Oh, good. I've been waiting for more. I need to put more AA commanders. I think I have 2 or 3 more that need. Leaders, okay. These guys. Different lead. Okay, organization Todt. The Todt organization is the Third Reich's civil and military engineering group in Germany, named after its founder, Fritz Todt, an engineer and senior Nazi figure. The organization was responsible for a huge range of engineering projects, both pre-war Germany and in Germany itself, and occupied territories from France to the Soviet Union during the war. Okay, so we can form Organization Todt if we want, or not. You want to. It's just no-brainer. I sort of just to give you a sense of control. I mean, 500 supplies and get all of those positive gains. You want that, obviously. They're not huge gains, but they help out with various things. So, and that is a brown SA uniform, just so that you know. Even if you see in Hearts of Iron 4, Todt with a black uniform, because they used that photo and they interpreted that as black. But you can look at his armband. It's red and it's darker. Red shows up darker than brown on a black and white photo. And I also know that he never wore because he wasn't in the SS. He was in the SA, SA leader. So, and or you could put him in a Luftwaffe uniform. He was also in the Luftwaffe as well. He was a pilot, not a fighter pilot or anything, I don't think, but he was a pilot in the Luftwaffe. We'll see some stuff coming up in a bit, but Hitler did pay the Kaiser's bills while he was in exile. Hitler had the government pay for Kaiser Wilhelm. And that is a picture, at least from this time period, and that's where he was living in, type of house he was living in the Netherlands. And Congress, Sudeten Party in Deutschland, and it's in Carlsbad. That is here. Where that is, I guess. Or, no, I think it's more here. The city. And so you can see the enthusiasm. There's a lot of people marching. There's a lot of people on the sides of the street. This is pretty big. That's Conrad Henlein speaking. And we can see inside, not a huge theater thing, but pretty big, awfully full. There they are looking. Now that's looking at the audience. That's looking from the audience up at the stage. So give you sort of the size and idea of it. Talk about there. Right, so that's going on. So this is all going on leading up to getting... it wasn't just simply an overnight thing. Okay, Special Forces branch. That's here, and yes, it's grayed out. What we want to do... well, we were sort of waiting for that. But, well... okay, by August I'll do that. And can we get all three of these at once? Looks like it. Okay, rebase. Okay, submarine torpedo have advanced. Would allow acoustics, but that's way too far in the future for me to want to push now. Yeah, let's do special treatment steel. That's a good one to do. Okay, 2 which I think will be a new. Oh well, wait a minute. The headquarters for that unit? Yeah, looks like it. Okay, so now you get your headquarters. Red Fleet Officer Purge. Just if we haven't wrecked the army enough, we need to now wreck the. Yep, that's all the right mix there. Wreck the Navy too. Okay, build air bases in southern Germany. Yes, we want that. It's a really good deal. Okay, we have lost the effects of high popularity. We're now medium. High E is launched. Close air support prototypes have advanced. That's good. Gray that one out. Oh, stop that one, not gray it out. Well, we were well moving up with more officers, but we decided 8 million bayonets. They don't have 8 million bayonets, can't make 8 million bayonets. But we've expended our armed forces enough, so that's losing a little bit of ground there. Well, 39 I'll really start to worry about. The industrial zone is ready. Okay, good. Light. Oh, these are medium bombs. Not they were light. Mediums. Okay, I guess so. No, not Udet. Udet's too much of a stunt flyer. He needs to be in charge of Stukas or something. Leave your Corp B. There we go. Okay, we're getting ready to. So let's go with. Pause this. Okay, it's paused. Oh no, 3, 2. 2. Those will help be cheaper because we're just getting through all of these guys. I do want those 4 of those. And then let's move these guys to the bottom. There we go. That was pretty quick. Okay, British blueprint stolen. Our spies have stolen plans to let us improve our abilities with fighter targeting focus to level 3, giving the following benefits. Reduces bomber selection, but increase fighter selection, and that is down here, so we jumped ahead on that. Very nice. Okay, Standard Oil and IG Farben cooperation. Agreement between Standard Oil and IG Farben in the late 1920s aimed at creating a world monopoly on synthetic rubber. In 1938, Standard Oil provided IG Farben with its new butyl rubber process. This technology was critical because Germany had no natural rubber, and thus Germany's ability to fight depended on synthetic rubber. This will expand the Horch AG facilities in Frankfurt. It will also let Standard Oil expand their facilities. So they'll make money and expand their facilities. So the U.S. will get an event that will do that, but we will also gain rare materials and then gain 4 rare materials in Frankfurt am Main, representing the synthetic factory there, and it improves relations to doing business with America. Or you can do not strengthen our future foe. Well, we're gonna take this. They're going to be strong enough anyways, but we're going to expand that. And 157. That here, I think. Yep, there. And 254. No, we don't have to group these, but it is cooler to do so. 254. So we're getting our Luftwaffe bomber program up to a pretty good start here. Okay, found this poster. The Reich Colonial Bund is also calling you. The Reich Colonial Bund must teach all Germans our legacy in Africa. There are many scarce resources in our former colonies that the Reich needs. That's Ritter von Epp giving some sort of lecture to mostly looks bored Nazi types, but okay. So this was all going on while the main Nazi theme, of course, and they talk about it, and the real core of greater Nazi philosophy is expanding colonially eastward from here. There's a fair amount of resources, and if I were to say a lot, and I would say a lot of resources, but not in any way a majority. A small minority of the resources was put into the Reich Colonial Bund and the movement. It's very much away from the core ideology of the Nazis, but I'm not sure why they did it. Whether enough of the leadership wanted the colonies back, or enough of the leadership wanted the threat that we want these colonies back to then maybe negotiate, like, oh, okay, we'll give up our demand for our colonies if you just let us have Poland or something, some sort of negotiating tactic or something. I don't know for sure, but there were lots of resources put into it, or whether it was just to support a demand of the German, of a segment of the German people that wanted to get its colonies back, and so we'll keep them happy and let them have their thing, and let them do their stuff, and so I'm not sure exactly why, but they definitely did that, and that sort of interests me because it's not talked about much. Okay, fusing in a warhead, that's grayed out, and we were already lost our high, so okay. High popularity, so we no longer have as much leadership. You're still producing more than we need. This is screwy setup. Okay, superchargers for our airplanes, not just fighters, but okay, armored car designs have improved. That we will stop. Let's improve our tank destroyers, I guess. Yeah. Okay, this is one of Hitler's main visits down to Italy. Found some color photos, thought it would make a nice tour. This was part, I believe, Hitler's continuing to try to get Mussolini into the Axis and allow him to get Austria and not to be afraid of Germany on the border. So goes down there, you can see the sort of photo tour. many large crowds. You can skip it if you're tired of seeing it, or you can through it again. Go watch some military exercises. There's Mussolini, there's Hitler, other guys. I think that may be Himmler there, I'm not sure. Who has the best troops? Time to eat. Yeah, that was Himmler. Again, back of Mussolini. They all love uniforms. Who has the best? Italy is showing off its sort of, in a way, its colonial possessions. And this is something that is really, to me, shows the difference between fascism and National Socialism. You would never have seen this, in my opinion, for a state visit in National Socialist Germany. Even if they had colonies, they just wouldn't be, here's our Africans. No, they just wouldn't be doing that. It just wouldn't be in the National Socialist mindset. They just, yeah. And to put it, if you had a Polish minority, you wouldn't have Mussolini visiting and then a bunch of Poles in, that represent a minority community of Poles in some sort of different national costume. It just would not happen. Sure, you might have Southern Bavarian lederhosen guys wearing and whatever they might wear up here in Germany or something. Different German regional costumes, if you will. Yes, but you wouldn't be seeing that in National Socialist Germany. So that shows the very difference. Now, I'm not saying that the people in the past weren't racist. A lot of stuff that I've read about in the 18th century and the 19th century talking about the British race and the British race. And what they are to a point meaning race, but they're also much more meaning the culture, in my opinion, because they know that, these people that are talking about it, they know that their ancestors are, Germans that came over, the Celts that were here, and all these different people, and, how much racial because you also have large numbers of Huguenot French that have moved into to Britain and have become basically the British race, and they see that as sort of the same, and and so they know these people are racially coming from here, but the Normans are from here, the Bretons are from here, that and so they see it. I think they use race more in the past as a identity of culture and of cultural grouping as much. I mean, race is part of it, but is much more so. I remember watching a documentary on the web about, it was originally on the BBC or something. It was about anti-foreign stuff in Britain, sort of made leading up to the Brexit vote, and sort of, in a way, sort of trying to slam, Britons who don't like foreigners and don't want foreigners. And they had this one guy who just had our posters for meetings, and gotta stop the foreigner invasion, gotta keep the foreigners out, gotta get the foreigners out of Britain, no foreigners in Britain. And the sort of the punchline of it, they talk about this guy. The guy was from India, because he saw himself as a Briton. Now, he was from the right Indian background, that he spoke English and was part of that and had moved to Britain, but he wanted to keep the sort of, because during this time there was something going, I think the Franco-Prussian War or something, and there were a lot of sort of French refugees or French people trying to move in, and he wanted to keep these other Europeans out. This is just Britain for the Britons, and so he saw himself as part of the greater British Empire. So it's not always based on race, but I'm sure these people, Italians, thought themselves superior to the Africans. I'm not trying to say they didn't, but there wasn't this this racial element that we see in the Nazis. Mussolini wanted to conquer these other lands and make eventually teach everybody in school, not make as in like force them at gunpoint, but teach the kids growing up in school Italian, make them all in essence Italians. That's what he wanted to do. It's a nationalistic thing, yes, but it is not at its core as racist. I mean, there's, like I say, it's people's had different views back then, and I'm not justifying it, but that's just their views, and it's sort of the difference between Nazism and fascism. And so Hitler and the Nazis would be, they might be pleasant because they're trying to get Mussolini to be allied, but they're not respecting the idea that these guys have these other people here. And so there's more flags and parades and whatnot. Proves our relations with Italy, but we've already got them in the access. Defense report, okay, and we have a minor breakthrough, 10% and something. Okay, amphibious warfare equipment allows marine HQs, good. Well, guess we're coming down here and working our way through all of this goodness. $254 minutes here. I guess we're getting a whole nother set of those. Well, cool. Be a big super group. Okay, guidance advance for torpedoes, I believe. So that is grayed out. And we'll continue to shift through to here. And here we go. Okay. Well, let's save this. And I strongly suggest you save this. Like I say, I think it's bugged or not working as intended or whatever you want to call it in the regular one. I've changed mine because I agreed mentally with myself, if you will. I mean, with nobody else, but with myself when they go, oh, 400, 450, the first, 36, 37, and then 38 and 39, not over 650. I go, okay, that's acceptable, keeping from massive spamming and whatever. I can deal with that. And I didn't before. I looked at, when I started, I went and looked at my my previous playthroughs and looked at the different years and saw how much I had, just to go, is that close to, I wasn't like, oh, well, if I went over, well, I would just think, okay, well, I just make a little less, unless I was doing that. And so yeah, so that's why I edited mine, but you can edit yours, and maybe they'll fix it in the next version. But you should save this, because if we do hit this and it jumps over whatever it may be, we can go, oops, go back to the save, reduce down from war economy to, full mobilization or some other thing, and then hit it so that you don't go over. So you can do that. But we're also going to end the episode here. It's been fun and nice, and we got a nice episode going here. But so I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for liking the videos, of course, and of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And also, please, if you would, make comments, questions, suggestions, ideas. I just love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.